If you want to play that game, go ahead, but I'm warning you, you're intellectually dishonest. You can't be consistent with your tests.
Can you talk on the existence of free will in a mechanical world? Sort of, you know, the laws of physics are very rigorous and rigid, and it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to me that we could have some sort of freedom when we're governed by physical particles and all of these things.
You bet. My experience in life, my observation of life is that we do have a physical body that operates on very stringent laws.
Right.
I have a younger brother who's a transplant surgeon. He studies these laws and he transplants kidneys and livers, and it's a very precise science, very precise medical procedure. I am convinced that there is more to you than just that precise, specific physical description. I am convinced that you have the ability to think rationally and amazingly creatively. I am convinced that you have the ability to do great good or to choose to do great evil, and that you have a conscience and a rational mind, and by exercising your rational mind and your conscience, you will make decisions about whether to use your talents to slaughter or to promote life.
Sure.
My experience is that I have a free will.
It seems like that, but I mean, what ultimately distinguishes us from a very intelligent machine?
Free will?
I mean, how can you prove the existence of free will? That's kind of what I'm getting at. And it seems like if you really sit down and consider it, you can't really explain it in the context of a world that's governed by physical laws all the way down to the atoms that compose your cells.
Mm-hmm. So, tonight, I will sit on the side of my bed and I will judge myself. I will say, Cliff, when you spoke to that student, you got too ticked, too upset, you were disrespectful. Don't repeat that. Cliff, when you spoke to this other student, that was good. By my ability to perceive myself, to judge myself, I insist that that is an example of free will.
I mean, that could be thought of as an example of like machine learning and artificial intelligence. You examine yourself and try to achieve better outcomes, and so you could see the way that you handled yourself today, and maybe you didn't get the results that you wanted, so you can reflect, and the next time you learn. And that's kind of the same thing that an artificial intelligence algorithm would do. Some of them.
But my experience is, my observation of myself is,
I just don't see what's the fundamental distinguishing characteristic that we have that makes us not a very sophisticated machine. The emotions maybe, but I mean, you can't really prove that you have an emotion. You can feel it inside of yourself, but I can't prove that to you that I feel anything. What I'm saying is, internally you know that you have free will, but how could you write it out on paper and prove it to someone else?
You can't. And if anybody tries to maintain that they live their life based on proof, I think they're lying to themselves and to you. We don't base our lives on proof, we base our lives on evidence.
Sure. I mean, it feels like you have free will. That's for sure.
Well, not only that, we base our legal system on it.
Right. I mean, that could be a problem. But
I think it'll be a problem if we don't base our legal system on free will.
Yeah, you're right. There's not much else you could do, but yeah, I was just wondering if you've had any answers for that. It's a hard problem. I've been talking to some Christian friends of mine, and I can't seem to get my brain around it. I'm trained as a physicist, so I can't seem to understand what I have that makes me free. Because it seems like all of the particles in my brain are governed by laws. So my thoughts must be in some sort of a sense describable in some sort of complicated equation. So I kind of have a hard time going to faith because I think faith needs for me to be choosing, and I don't see myself as a choosing being. I see myself as a very complicated robot.
Then why do you get so excited when another robot says she loves you?
I mean, you can explain that in terms of genetics. That's quite simple. I mean, we're here to procreate.
Prove it. Prove it. Prove it.
I guess I can't.
You obviously can't.
Right.
In fact, there's nothing that you've just said to me that you can prove.